We're rock and roll with it, out and about today at the Cowley Retreat. Big thanks to the Cowley Retreat and to Josh, who made this all possible. We're really excited today because slightly different. We've got some very special guests in the form of Junodream. We're joined by Dougal, Ed and Tom. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you very much, Sally.
Yeah, thank you.
So we are so excited to be interviewing you, but we want to give you the biggest question. What is Junodream?
Oh, wow. Well, Junodream is nothing, essentially. It's a word that doesn't mean anything, and that's the point, I think. The idea was to find something that sounded great, and then we could give it meaning. So what does it mean?
It's the culmination of our entire lives together. We've known each other for a very long time. We've known each other since we were about 15. And so it's kind of it's a meaningless word for us. It's a terrible reason.
Makes total sense.
I could see you as you saying that, cozying into giving a proper cuddle.
Not cozying into me though.
No, it's too far away.
Poor Tom sat on the end on his own. Well, let's give you an example. You've just said there about how you've been doing this a long time. Let's take it back to the start. You said about you've been friends for ages. Where did it all start for you guys?
Well, we all met at school in Hampshire, and we all kind of we got into the band life, as it were, for kind of the wrong reasons. We were just teenagers and we wanted to make friends because we were all losers. And you know, as you get older and older, it's sort of you have to turn it more into an art. What you really want to do. It moves away from being kind of a faddy thing you did for kind of clout, and it becomes more of a kind of like a passion thing. So we've kind of we've evolved from that now into it being kind of like what we just want to do for the rest of our lives. And sorry, that's an absolutely terrible answer.
I don't need to belittle it though. What is the faddy iteration of Junodream then before developing then?
What's the what? Sorry,
the faddy.
Oh, the faddy.
Right. The iteration before Junodream. So we were, yes, that is right. We were called Paint beforehand, which is an awful name, not only because you can't Google it, because you just get B&Q, and trust me, we searched for our band at that point. But it's a good story. We thought it was a good story of why we were called Paint. We were in a pub in Bristol on a Monday night, like last year of studying there at various places. And Dougal came up from the loos and then was like, I swear that guy looks like Paolo Nutini. And sure enough, this guy turns around and is like, you're like Paul. And it genuinely was Paolo Nutini by himself on a Monday night in not even a good pub. I'm not going to say the name of the pub.
Oh, no, you've got to... We love Bristol. What pub was it in Bristol?
Huh?
We love Bristol. You've got to tell you.
What is the
The Brass Pig, not a good pub.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I get it now.
Anyway, so we ended up just chatting with him outside for a couple of hours. He then... We talked about music and all sorts. He came back to ours. Fast forward a few hours into the night, and we explained that we were, having been mates for so long since school, kind of like going from it, doing it all ourselves, etc. But we need a name, and he sort of stared up at the walls and just went, Paint. And we thought, it's kind of like Blur, single syllable, quite cool. Make something out of it. And about 3 months into it, we're like, this is.
So we had to change. Shit. You had to change to Junodream because you can't Google it, basically.
Didn't that come from a Pink Floyd song? Is that right?
Yeah, there's
what?
What? There's a Pink Floyd song called Julia Dream, and they were going to sue us to the nines, so we changed it to Junodream. Basically.
So is Paolo Nutini still a fan then? Is he still a friend?
Yes.
Best
yes.
friend.
Let's say yes.
If you get in touch, your name's not Paint anymore. Though,
yeah,
so.
He's been finding us. He's been trying to find us in the Yellow Pages. But
somewhere there's an old Paint email address with just spam from Paolo.
Where are you guys? Yeah. I think Tom gets the occasional pocket dial from Paolo, so that's good enough.
I pocket dial him.
The real question is, what was Paolo Nutini doing in the Brass Pig on his own? On a Monday night,
trying to find us.
Trying to find the dream. Yeah.
Wasn't he recording an album nearby?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
When he did the Iron Sky one?
No, it was after that.
Post Iron Sky.
It was his recent album he's just released. That's what he was recording. Some references to Bristol in there, I think.
So going back to the earlier days of Junodream, I absolutely love something that you've said in a previous interview, Dougal, about having an exploration of sound as something that you really enjoy as music. So talking about To the Moon, can you talk about kind of how you guys started your writing process? Like, where did you define your sound?
Yeah. Well, we've sort of been on this journey since starting Junodream, and the first tracks we released, one of them was To the Moon, and then we went on this exploration, and then when we just recorded an album and realised when we were doing it that actually where we started 3 years ago was exactly where we wanted to be. So you got to go there to come back, and we went sort of all around the block really. But now we're a dream rock band, I think.
Yeah, we after uni we felt a little bit kind of lost, in ourselves and as a band, and we took a retreat back to where we just were today at my parents' house in the middle of the countryside. We're in this like rundown barn. We all just we didn't have jobs, and we kind of just lived there and just started trying to find a sound and using very basic equipment ourselves. And we I think To the Moon isn't even mastered.
It's mastered.
It is mastered. Okay. Well, it's not very well recorded, and we didn't think that it would. Oh, sorry. We didn't think it would go very well, and we just threw it out on Spotify, and just ended up being our, top song.
I was about to say, 7 million streams later, badly recorded.
Yeah. But we went from there. That's where we started. We went on this kind of Americana-y type sort of side route. Did the Travel Guide EP, and now with the album we're releasing in January, we've sort of come full circle back to original Junodream territory. So we kind of just, if anything, we haven't done anything in 2-3 years because we've ended up back where we started, but it feels like the right place to be.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like, especially being a band now in 2023, having been a band for a while, you've had quite a few different obstacles there. Like you've said about university, you weren't all at the same uni, were you?
No. So I was actually here. I actually lived on James Street, just down there. Will also was here, and then these guys were all at Bristol and BIM. So we all kind of were in the West, and so we kind of built up from there. Yeah.
So you've had that of all living apart, coming together again after uni, then COVID. Like, it's not like a nice linear journey you've had at all.
Junodream, the kiss of death. I tell you, whatever we touch, we will ruin.
Yeah, it's not been clean, but I think we've kind of definitely picked up. You have to adapt, right? When these things get thrown in your face, like COVID, and living far away from each other during uni. So we were already kind of used to. Like making music on our own and sending each other projects and being a band apart, and so we've actually kind of thrived during this period in terms of building our following up. But it's the way we kind of already write music and record. So yeah, it's actually kind of weird now that we get into studios. It's like very weird to us. We usually kind of just in our own pockets, adding to it as we go.
I suppose as well, like that COVID period, you had 2 sets of tours that you'd had to plan and then cancel again. That must have been so gutting.
We called it the year of live. We were so ready for it. We were like, you know what? We don't need to release any music this year because we've got such a busy touring schedule for the first time ever. And then COVID hit. We couldn't exactly go anywhere to record anything. So we prepped nothing, had nothing, and then we had to really adapt.
And through your Dreamcast as well, it's so funny because like I've gone back on them, and you guys are betting on like it can't go past February, like that's got to be the latest point, and then it's like end of March.
Yeah, I know. Actually, there was some very like weird predictions from Tom that you got right in the end of having a mini break during Christmas.
Did I?
Yeah, you got it absolutely bang on.
Should enter the lottery.
Well, just going on that then, saying about like the year of live and now actually being able to perform live. We've seen you a few times over the last year or so tour. We saw you in Bristol, you did a night at Moth Club, and just supporting the Backseat Lovers as well. How does it feel? Backstreet Lovers. Yeah. How does it feel to finally be out then and actually being able to see fans and try different stuff out live?
Yeah, it's been really good actually. We've sort of gone in this. We've got an album coming out in January, and so this was kind of like a sort of place in places we've never played before. Check back in, see everyone's still there. So we went to Aberdeen. Didn't know if we'd have any fans there, and it was a really great, reception. And it's the same with all the places we've been. Some some guy had tattoos of our lyrics on his arm.
Oh
So
my God.
we have to just like make it now.
And actually start offering like free removal. You know?
And actually, shout out to this man called Fred Holes, who he's been coming to our gigs for many, many years, but he lives in Holland, and he flew in to Birmingham and got the train up to Sheffield to come and see us in Sheffield this week, and then drove down to see us in Birmingham the next day and has flown back. So it's just an example of like kind of the weird and amazing things you see when you go on a tour. I feel like a lot of people actually don't go up and down the UK that much, like, or it's at least to the extent that we do. And it's always so nice when there's people there who, you know, people were singing our most recent song back to us. It's only been out for a few weeks, and everyone's just so nice. I feel like live music fans, particularly like fans of guitar bands, are all very, very nice people. I can't really put my finger on it, but
really,
yeah, but it's just so, it just makes you feel really happy with the world. I don't know, that sounds very corny, but
that guy is seriously dedicated. But Teddy and I both have our own little stories, actually.
Oh, yeah?
So during COVID, I got a cat. It's nearly impressive. And I said to my mum, I want to call it Juno after the band.
yes,
She didn't like the name. I'm sorry,
right,
but
Dream then.
that was my nearly claim to fame.
Well, you've outdone us already there, saying about the guy with the tattoos. We do actually have our own little fan thing to try
Really?
and show how bigger fans we are. And this is quite a nice little anecdote, because when Holly and I first got together a few years ago, we both realised that we loved Junodream. Like, it was Galactica in particular, was a song that I really loved. And I knew Holly loved To the Moon. And it was that first, like, it was Christmas, and I had to get Holly a gift. And it's during COVID time. She went, I don't want you to buy me anything. I want something heartfelt. So I
want you to make something.
So I freaked out. I had no idea what to do. So I made this, which got to describe it now.
No. That's
So
amazing.
to describe it for listeners, it is a shirt which I had to do a few like online YouTube videos to try and hand stitch the Junodream to the
word.
Yeah,
That is
so
amazing.
We'll take 3. That's great.
yeah, exactly. There was a few takes of that to get it right.
Wow, that's really, really impressive.
The big
He's
thing
a
about
keeper.
it, this was like early days in our relationship as well. So he was like, wasn't replying to me all day. I was like, oh God, he's gone off me. And then I get this, and he's like, this has been my
He's back
Christmas
on full
break.
steam.
Back in the workhouse.
But the issue will be now, though, if Holly ever breaks my heart, I'm never going to be able to go to a Junodream gig ever
Nah,
again.
you can come with us.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I'll take my shirt back and I'll wear that.
Wow, I really want one of those. We should get you on commission to make some of them.
It took far too long. I'm not quite sure I can make another one.
That's the coolest piece of merch I've seen.
On top
That's
of that,
cool.
we got Bucket Girl.
Oh yeah, I've actually.
Bucket Girl.
I've shown you. Tom's eyes have perked up because
This
I've
is
spoken to
ringing
Dougal and Tom once
This
before.
is bringing some. Yeah.
I've showed you a picture of this before. It was, again, that same sort of time, COVID, when we were meant to go and see you, and we got fully merched up. We were really excited. Didn't happen. And again, one of these nights where I didn't hear back from Holly for ages until I got sent a picture of her basically almost upside down being ill into a bucket with her pristine Junodream shirt still on.
But it was those COVID times where we were both at uni in that time, so it was like, what do we do on the evenings? We would go out, we'll do a crate challenge. So I'm a lightweight anyway, so there's me having.
So you're Bucket Girl.
I am bucket. I am the bucket
Wow.
girl. So I was very ill, but somehow I said to my friend, please take a photo of me in my Junodream.
Thanks for sending it to us.
Have you got the bucket?
No, I
Commemorative Junodream
don't.
bucket.
No, it wasn't the first thing I wanted to bring home
I feel
after
like
uni.
It would have been the ultimate sport thing to be right at the front with bucket in one hand, shirt in the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were still repping the Junodream band even in COVID.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, back on to Junodream. So obviously you've got your new album coming. We've had Death Drive and The Beach out. Before that, how do you think your music has progressed from the start?
Well, I think we understand what we're after, and I think every time we write a song, we try and find a way to make it slightly different, not in a deliberate gimmicky way. So it's got to have its own unique flavor. but it's great writing in the context of an album, because then you're making a bigger body of work. So they're all kind of individual. We want someone to be able to listen to any song on the record and enjoy it, but also it actually fits much better in the context of the album. So, every song we write, we're trying to capture feelings of space, alienation, and wonder. So like the feeling of wonder, not like walking around. So every time we're going to write a song, we're kind of thinking of those 3 words, like, is it hitting any of those? And yeah, that's kind of it, really. It's all very formulaic.
So on that then, you say about like the songs being very unique, and with those 2 releases, The Beach and Death Drive, they're very different. Like Death Drive's quite dancey, like proper groovy, which different.
I think that's our first and maybe last attempt at doing sort of a dancey track. I'm not saying it's actually going to be our last, but we just I think with this album we kind of just want to just explore a bit, but make it sound very Junodreamy. So like that is a Junodream version of a dance song, if you see what I mean. So
the way we're describing it, when people listen to this, they'll be like, "That's just not dance."
That's not a dance song.
Hang on a second, I wouldn't dance.
It's like if Beck or Beta Band did a dance track.
Yeah. Yeah, but for us it's a dance track. But I would say that the rest of the songs on the album, there's a lot more sort of introspective. There's some slower songs in there, kind of like more classic Junodream, bit of Galactica-y type stuff in there. So it hits all the sort of best of the stuff that we've done over the last few years, basically.
When I first heard Death Drive, I actually got a little bit of Blur coming through. I don't know whether you feel the same way, but the like bits where you're like, I'm not going to try and do it for everyone because you don't want that.
No, go on.
No. But that's the first thing I heard, which is so different to anything you guys have ever done before. But the big thing, what can you tell us about the album? So how many tracks? Do we have more Death Drive coming through? That kind of music?
We can tell you all the tracks.
Yeah, we can tell you all the tracks.
Oh yeah, do it, please.
The best news is that they're all new tracks. Because I know some artists put on like their big hitters. They immediately put them on. We thought that kind of be cheating everyone if we did that.
Shall we give you 3 words to describe each of the tracks?
Yes, that sounds.
So track
perfect.
1, Fever Dream.
Space, alienation, and wonder.
No, come on.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. What we
Fever Dream.
Do I give 1? You give 1.
No, you give 3 for Fever Dream.
Fever Dream. Energetic, frantic, spacey.
No, but like describe what it means.
Oh, I see. But in 3 words.
Yeah, in 3 words.
Oh.
What are the songs about?
In 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
Tech CEO bad guy.
Okay, and then
Hyphenated bad guy.
Hyphenated bad guy. And then Death Driver's End World Dance.
The Beach is next, isn't it? The Beach, alienation, loneliness.
Synonyms, surely.
Huh?
Isolation.
Okay, that's 3 synonyms.
That's fine.
Okay, the next one's called Sit in the Park. Loneliness, heartbreak,
Scale.
Are you guys okay?
No, Teddy, no, we're not.
This could actually take a while, guys.
Pools of Colour.
Pools of Colour, Neuralink, blindness, technology.
And that's the title track.
That's the title track, and I can say, you know what? There's, in terms of like a moment within the whole album, there's a moment in Pools of Colour, which is, since the demo, Day Dot has been my favourite.
Tom's favourite bit.
Several people's favourite, manager's favourite bit in the album. It's a big sort of expansive section that just hits in the middle of the song and just changes.
Don't believe a word he says. It's rubbish.
Yeah, it's crap. Tom, you're on Happiness Advantage, isn't it, Tom?
Happiness Advantage.
Sad, I'd say, that one.
Yeah. Sad, bleak, depressing.
Kitchen sink. Oh no, Alien Adventure actually. Oh shit.
Well, it was called Alien Adventure, but we changed it.
This is very
Close Encounters.
confusing to follow. We've got a song called Close Encounters, which is abduction, drink, space. Is this game good?
This is horrible. You can just
Speaking
speed
from
up.
experience with these songs, guys. I feel like there's something we're missing out on here.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot in there to
So a
unpack.
key ingredient in this.
And then kitchen sink drama, claustrophobia, frustration, anger.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then what else do we have on the...
lullaby.
Oh, lullaby. It's just so wholesome, sweet, but sad.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and then
The Oranges.
The Oranges, kind of hip hop trap. Feel good.
shut up.
No, it's not. It's
Surely not.
What is The Oranges?
It's stepping into someone's lucid dream. That's what that's about.
In 3 words.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, we've taken up about 5 minutes of that. The time.
I'd like to zone in on something Tom was saying there about like the moment in that, and I'm particularly interested with this with you, Tom, because you guys have such a distinct identity as a band. Like following you on socials and stuff, there is a real like sense of Junodream, and I feel like a big part of that is that you do it all yourselves, right? Tom, you mix everything, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that's been out to date. This album, though, because it was a ginormous amount of work in terms of and track number, we didn't just produce this ourselves, so we co-produced it. So we did partly ourselves and then partly with this producer called Simon Burt, who has a shed in Chiswick. I say a shed, it's a glorious shed with all sorts of synths, because Dougal and myself, for example, would go there on the first day and we say, look, we kind of got all the like guitars and bass sounds, that sort of thing down, but there's this like spiritualized track or something where there's that sound, and we're like, where is that? And he would just point to the corner and be like, it's the DX7 or whatever the synth is at the time. Be like, great, this is why it's so good, working with him. But yeah, we what's the original question? I'm really
Asking
flying
about,
now.
like,
If you mixed it.
Mix it? No, I didn't actually mix the album.
Didn't get the job.
No.
Yeah, but I'll still mix. No, I'm joking. Didn't mix. It was mixed by a guy called Claudius Mittendorfer, who's just made it. Yeah, it's really, really cool. I mean, when it took us weirdly not actually long when you put all the time together, but it's spread over such a long time. The recording process, mixing process. We had variations and changes along the way. When you're sort of best part of a year into hearing these songs, after the writing process as well, you are so blind. By the end of it, you're like, is this any good? I have no idea. So I think it's really good that we did reach out and got some professional help in the end.
So can I ask if there's going to be any sort of instrumental tracks like MY2000? That is such a cool song.
There aren't any express instrumental tracks, but I would say that Happiness Advantage is more about the feel of the track than it is about there being a chorus.
The voice is very much like an instrument.
Yeah, exactly. And when you listen to that for me is like my favorite track on the album, and it's a song that you could just listen to and sink away into. So I would put that in the category of instrumental probably the most of all, but the rest of them are all kind of they're all kind of more normal.
So talking about inspiration, I know you guys are massive Pink Floyd fans, and I imagine maybe those instrumental tracks are very Floyd-esque, but can you tell me some of the other inspirations or bands you love at the moment?
Well, a lot of them a lot of our inspirations are kind of more have already been. I mean, actually, Slowdive are doing a tour now. That's kind of exciting. Take us with you. And then Spiritualized, we really like a lot of the soundscapes they create. A lot of things that are quite expansive, basically, and kind of lean rather than being in your face rock, it's kind of more cerebral, like you have a moment where you get lost a bit. Anything like that.
We wanted to make tunes that you would play in a room with high ceilings. I know it sounds really weird, but that sort of, when you go to see a band that does that that's why we're kind of playing Bush Hall tomorrow, because it's got kind of that higher ceiling. So if that helps to kind of frame the sounds of it. But
we do take inspiration as well. I know we often list a lot of sort of space dream type bands like Pink Floyd and Spiritualized, Sigur Rós and those types, but to be honest, inspiration stretches far, far beyond those artists. But it'll be something really small. Like they'll be like, oh, there's that guitar sound in a Michael Kiwanuka track, which is amazing. It'd be cool when we get to a moment where something like that's suitable. It'd be cool to trial something like that. Or the references are. They seem, if you look at them on a playlist, you'd be like, that's really random. But it's usually in reference to a specific something.
Yeah. Like Britney Spears is a big one for
I was
vocals.
going to say,
Eminem.
You'll see us with the Britney mics tonight. Yeah.
Well, it feels quite nice coming into this next bit then, because we're about just under 2 hours before you guys are going to be on stage. So I'm very...
What? You're late. Yeah. You're due on stage now.
We feel very blessed that you are letting us be a part of your pre-gig ritual. But we've got to ask... Do you have any weird superstitions, any pre-gig rituals? You got a lucky sock maybe you've brought with you?
Tom likes to shake all of our hands before we go on stage. That's not like a huge, crazy
ritual. It's not a superstitious
ritual
thing, but it's like more a camaraderie sort of...
Trying to build up that...
trying to rebuild
morale.
some friendship.
Yeah.
What happens if it's a weak handshake that you get from someone?
Yeah, no, it throws you off massively.
Straight away, yeah.
I think I used to eat polos when I was like younger, because I used to think when I was very young, I used to think that it would help me sing higher.
Because of the hole.
Yeah, because of the big hole.
Just try and lodge it in the correct position.
But now I used to carry that into now in doing a band. But now every time I eat them, it makes me feel very, very nervous because it reminds me of those days. So. Basically, I stay well clear of any mints or eat any food beforehand.
No food at all before?
Yeah, not really.
It's not looking so svelte.
I don't say we get super nervous before we go on stage, but like if you eat food, it's just, I think that's where it manifests. So better to avoid.
And in terms of vocals, like my thinking behind it is I'd want to like get out a dodgy note before I went on stage. Do you just do some weird noises, just get it out on the table so
I was singing some Italian and German songs behind the stage. Because they kind of they make sounds that are unusual for English people, and so it kind of stretches out. I mean, it's odd sounds, like doing like Uber and stuff. Anyway,
I'm going to order Uber.
I wanted Uber. But yeah, I don't really warm up that much. It's terrible. I probably should.
So what we're hearing is if we get a dodgy note in the first song or so, it's like, we're getting into the groove now.
Yeah, because the first note in the beach, which is what we're going to open with, it doesn't really fit it doesn't sit in the chord that's being played very nicely. So I always struggle to hit that one. Being the very first one, it's a bit of a nightmare.
So we now know to look out for that. So we'll be eagle-eared in the very first track. But as gigs go, have you had any really oh god moments in a gig? Not on this tour, I'm hoping, but
tons.
There's not enough time in this podcast to go through
absolutely
it all.
Tons.
If you could pick one moment each.
Should we think of one from this tour even? Actually, this tour's been alright.
There's been one moment.
The cupboard. Oh
no, but I mean from this tour.
Oh, what's
we
this?
had one moment where it was in Sheffield, and I'd like to say before this guy gets completely the blame, really nice bloke and was trying his hardest, right? But
maybe we don't want to out there.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
If you are that guy, stop listening now.
Yeah. But we did walk on stage, and then we realised that there was no mics. The XLRs were hanging out the stands, but just no mics.
Yeah. Oh,
but it was all right because we had some noise that we could make and build the tension.
I was going to say,
but
lots of patter in between.
Ed's German noises.
Oh yeah,
fill in with the German noises.
It's sort of sinister and good.
We had one. Even it was even at Moth Club. The last one.
We were at Moth Club. Yeah.
Where Jake's pedal after the first song just broke, so we had to try and find a spare one in the supply cupboard after song 2, and so the whole gig just went flat.
It's going to be really weird for me to say, but that was such a great moment. I remember finding in that moment, because before shows, or generally if you have any anxieties about anything, right, it's usually like you envisage something horrendous going wrong, and the feeling with that would be horrible. And I remember that happening at the time in Moth Club. Jake's, I don't know if it got stuck in his trousers or something, but the pedal broke, and then I thought, I just had this feeling, like lifting feeling. I was like, oh, this is the nightmare. This is happening right now, and it's totally fine. We just said, we're going to be back in 5, bit of malfunction.
Well, that's how you thought it was. I thought we were going to have to play the whole show without kick drum, and that would have been an absolute nightmare. But we managed to basically wrap the stick around the drum, and so it ended up working in the end.
It's a real turning point.
The overwhelming memory I have of that gig is you guys, you must have seen, there's a guy right at the front, a slightly older
Fred
guy.
Holes.
That's Fred
That
Holes.
will be Fred Holes,
This guy, I've never seen somebody dance.
You see
his body like
Just sort of-
across.
That's what he was doing in Sheffield and Birmingham.
He was making up for like
great fan.
everyone else in the room.
Wait,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, that's Fred.
No.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of
but
sense
it's
now.
great because he is so passionate about music, and he really gets other people to feel comfortable dancing. Do you know what I mean? Because he's so far on that side of it. But I think it loosens everyone up. So it's always actually quite nice to have him there.
He breaks down a lot of
Loosens
boundaries.
us up. Yeah, it's great.
I've never seen somebody throw their arms around quite so violently to such nice chill.
To like a lullaby.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's like
Wouldn't
one
have
of
it any
those-
other way, to be honest.
I feel like we've got to hear the infamous cupboard story, though.
Oh.
Just too good.
Yeah. Well, this was in a previous incarnation, and we'd sort of really hyped ourselves up for this big headline show, and it was fine. You know, I don't know how many people. There weren't even that. It wasn't sold out. It was pretty empty, and it was in this venue in London, which used to be called the Barfly, but it's called the Camden Assembly now. And we sort of planned this very dramatic encore. We were going to walk off stage up to the changing room. Crowd was going to go wild, stomping, shouting, give it a couple of minutes, go back down, smash the encore. And so, Ed just led us off stage, rapturous applause from the 20 people who were there, and marched straight into the not the backstage door, but the cupboard,
the supply cupboard. we all went in single file, and there wasn't enough space for us all to get in. So Jake was just sort of half out the door, and then we had to back out and get back onto the stage
like the full
to do
Monty.
the encore, and no one like clapped or anything because it was just really awkward.
What?
Yeah? What's going
Yeah,
on?
but that was back. I think that was like 20. I don't even want to say when that was, like 2015 or something.
So it's the band Paint then.
That was pre-paint.
That's pre-paint.
Yeah, it was pre-paint.
Yeah.
I mean, we all met at school. We were a really bad school band to begin with.
I actually think it was quite good, personally. I think we really hit something.
Humble bloke.
Right?
Yeah. I think we've got it all wrong with this Junodream malarkey.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Let's go back to our roots.
We actually put supercalifragilisticexpialidocious into a song in that band.
Opening lyric.
That's the opening lyric
It's
of
the
one of the
first time
songs.
it's ever been done.
Yeah,
And is that going to be in the new album as well, by any chance? Or
that's so bad.
leave that out?
No, we'll leave that out.
So let's caveat those stories with what's the best Junodream moments for you guys?
I think one of them definitely was on the recent Backseat Lovers tour when we played the Kentish Town Forum, supporting them. Because we used to live, after school, we lived together in a little tiny flat on Kentish Town Road. So it was always like sort of looming in the distance. That's where we wanted to play. And we'd seen some great bands play there before. And so coming back and actually getting to be on that stage, and the crowd were really, really engaged with us and weren't just sort of, here's a support band. They were really giving it a lot, and that really it was mad. It was such a good feeling. So we want to get back there, but on our own terms. But that's just it gives you a great target to aim for. That was probably the best experience for me. But
You guys feel the same?
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said, actually. That tour was great because it was the first time we played in big rooms and high ceilings. We like high ceilings.
Yeah. The forum was, like I said, amazing, going the full circle. But then also, I think just throughout these touring moments, there is those times where, you see, shout out to that guy Luke who's got tattoos of lyrics on his arms or like custom-made T-shirts or something. And it feels slightly ludicrous because we're not exactly Coldplay massive or by any means 1% of that. So it's just really, I don't know, it's just nice. It's really, it just feels good.
Because you're making something out of thin air, and it means something to us, and we put in all of our life blood into it, and it's so nice when other people get on that.
I think it just makes you
idea.
feel slightly validated as a human. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's someone else likes what we do as well. That's nice.
It's surprisingly like sobering and really deep when people come up to you and explain how much like the song has meant to them on a personal level, or obviously with tattoos and stuff.
But also, we're not saying this happens. We don't just walk down the street
No,
and people do
yeah,
this.
exactly. It's always at our gigs. It's always at our gigs, and people coming, bringing very old merch and stuff. And obviously, you've got some of that as well, limited edition. But yeah, I mean, those are the moments that actually hit you like a lot more intensely, I think, than even some of the big shows. Yeah,
Definitely. So, do you guys all write, or do you all kind of have your own role?
I'd say the three of us do a lot of the writing. There's songs on the album that have been the genesis sits with each of us. It's quite like the way we write is we all kind of bring something that's sort of pretty finished to the table, so we can all use logical. Whether I'm pretty bad at that, to be honest. I'm usually here with half an idea. But yeah, I think that's quite a nice way. You got to take it to fruition and then present it kind of to the band, and then we'll kind of work on it in a writing session, and then it's done. So it kind of makes it quite quick. We've got like a demo list of like 50 songs already for the next album. So we've already got a name for the next album as well.
Good, but we got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a real roadmap right now for Junodream for the future. First album's not even out yet. Jeez.
Already think we've got to keep thinking forward, because we've already recorded all this stuff a while ago, and we've been sitting on the tracks for a while as well. So we're like kind of, it's all like we can't wait obviously until they're out and people can listen to them as well, and we can talk about it. But we finished recording that a while ago. It's already gone to press for vinyl and stuff, so we're already thinking about the next thing. So you always kind of live in this kind of, you live in the past a little bit. You live in a bit of limbo all the time as a band.
Yeah, there's like a 6 month to a year delay between what you're actually doing versus what's actually being seen out there. So a lot of the times you can have this moment where you're like, guys, why isn't everyone so excited? It's like because they haven't seen what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I think of, so we saw you in Bristol on December 4th. Was it 2021 or 22? Bristol was 2021 or 22?
21.
Yeah.
We remember the date because this is spooky because that was our anniversary.
So crazy.
Oh, proper spooky. But you played kitchen sink drama that night, so that I remember you guys playing that because you did the beach as well. Because we both came away and Holly was like, "Oh, I love the beach." She's like, no, I really like kitchen sink drama. So like,
oh my god, we've been playing them for so long. That's so bad. But we're kind of trying to like stop a bit now and play this album. So when the album comes out, we were playing this album a lot, and then we'll start to drip feed in songs from the next album closer to the time, so that we don't do this again. We play sort of song 2 years
it's built
later.
the hype. We're excited.
Yeah,
so.
and we're excited for. I don't know when this comes out, so be careful what I'm saying. But in terms of our next tour that we're doing with the album, we have so much like planning that we're currently doing, trying to make sure that is, compared to any other live show we've done before, is not only sonically but like visually a huge spectacle that goes on for like a long time. You're like really invited into the world.
He's giving himself a lot of work there.
Into the world of Junodream. So yeah, that will be epic, and a lot of new, like you said, we've been doing Kitchen Sink and the Beach for a while, but that'll be like pretty much the whole album. We haven't discussed, but maybe the whole album. So
no, we haven't.
So I am conscious you guys are going to have to go soon, but we've got a few more questions if you're okay with that. But my big question, because I'm really genuinely interested about being a band in this day and age, like coming out of COVID, balancing life, like being very expensive, loads of venues closed now, must be hard.
I'd say it's never been easier to make music, but it's never been harder to make it in music. Like, there's so much of it now. Everyone has access. Well, not obviously not everyone, but because it's still expensive to buy home equipment. But you can buy these. You can buy a small one of these for like 70 quid. And so, and if you can get it, you can get one of these mics as well. Anyone could be making music. So that there's like 100,000 songs are being added to Spotify every day. So there's a lot, and you've got a lot of social media to be across. Like when we were 15, it was only iTunes and Facebook, and it was a lot easier. So like it is hard. Like you spend a lot of time sort of being like a social media manager almost. But I think we've learnt over the years to be very like militant about how we make music. And so we're making music on the go. We make it all separately, so we don't have to all congregate together. It's kind of like we're like almost like a digital band that goes and plays out in the world. So yeah, it's more expensive now, but it's it's still.
I can't wait to watch this back.
It started.
We have to caveat this all with, it's a Wednesday night in Oxford. We're about maybe 100 metres down from the O2 where the big student night is, so we're getting some fancy dressing. So while I was giving that lovely...
Sorry, I was moaning about like how hard it is to do a band, because like most people who are in a band or obviously like have been able to be in a band. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a certain level of privilege that you get with being a musician at the same time, or like being able to have a guitar and stuff. Like all of this stuff is expensive, so don't want to whinge about it. But I think the first thing I said holds true. It's very easy to make music, but it's very hard to make it in music nowadays.
Yeah,
because there's so much of it.
I think it's amazing though how you guys did thrive in COVID, because I think so many artists like having, you're affected by your surroundings, right? And the beach, like you're walking along a beach, song. Like it must have been really difficult, but it's amazing how you guys were still able to like write music and keep going.
I think we were also lucky because we'd already written some of the tunes before we went into it, so that kind of helped as well. But yeah, definitely made it harder.
What we were going to say there, like with weird predictions, say about Tom predicting COVID, like with some of your songs like Travel Guide seemed, I think the word you might have used before is poignant, that it came out at a time where no one could go away, or like Easy Life coming out and being all about like being obsessed with your phones and stuff in that time when there was nothing more than your phone. Like bit of creepy here, but lots of predictions. Are we going to get any big predictions on the next album?
When we start writing about death, that's when we need to worry. Welcome Death Drive. Yeah.
We do write a song, the title track, Pools of Colour. I won't say what it's entirely about, but it does make reference to the idea of the first human patient to receive a Neuralink, so like the Elon Musk thing. I think that
and then only the other day, there was an announcement about the first human patients now being so accepting applicants.
Exactly.
For it.
So it's kind of like a allegory, sort of monkey's paw tale about that happening, but it's happening right now. So it might even be announced around. It would be if the album came out around that time, it would be absolutely bizarre.
Be old news by then.
The album's very topical as well, like asteroids coming out from space. Like I don't know if you guys have seen about that.
Wait, really? Yeah. Again?
Yeah.
So apparently there's thousands a week that come within sort of fractions of murdering and killing us all. Sleep well.
I feel like when this ends, we're going to like just need to give you a big hug, dude.
It's all good. It's quite sort of liberating, that thought, isn't it?
But and also actually the title, not the title track, but the first track on the album is also kind of about like the metaverse, or like the Mark Zuckerberg becoming sort of the overlord of the human race. Yeah. So if that happens as well at the same time, it'll be from us.
Yeah,
then I think we'll
actually
need
got
to
a partnership with Meta. So yeah, it's all funded.
It's going to be released to everyone on Meta, whether they want it or not. Well, let's be a bit more positive then. Let's go back to something that put a smile on everyone's face. If for anyone who's not heard Junodream before, you are missing out. But I want to ask you guys, what is your favourite song each? Because I'm sure like there are songs which you're very proud of or you like performing. Is there one that you all have that has something personal? Like you said about how amazing it is when you speak to people and the way they connect with music. Like I know Holly loves To the Moon, like hence the t-shirt and stuff. But like my favourite song is Eden Burns. I remember the day, January 18th, 2021, because I remember Jack Saunders played it on his show. It was the new wave track. But I remember it, and I think I've said this to you before, Dougal, about I had a friend who fell off a 3-story roof that night.
Oh my God,
and he was like, it was like this. He's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. But it was like this crazy, chaotic night. And I remember like it was so weird that we had all this craziness, and then he was gone in an ambulance because we couldn't go. It was kind of like this calm afterwards, and I remember putting on the radio and hearing that track and just being like, "Oh my god, I really connected with this right now."
Who's going to tell Teddy that we're not playing?
No, I thought I hope you wouldn't say that.
Thanks for the beer. Sorry. Well, favorite songs. I think ones that are already out or ones that are gonna come out.
Ooh, whatever you want, yeah.
Okay, I think my favorite is probably that's gonna come out. I really like a song called The Oranges, partly because I actually had nothing to do with it, so it's really nice to sort of objectively sit back and be like, oh, it's a great record, It's just and it's actually very sort of. I'd like to caveat, all of our songs have, they are actually quite hopeful, except for a couple which are really grim. But The Oranges is very hopeful, and it's a really nice end to the album. So that's my favourite.
Yeah, the Oranges was when I was here at uni. I would, because I was sleeping so much, I would have like very, very vivid lucid dreams. And I have the same like trigger for the dream every time, which is like my friend running towards me in a dusty Moroccan village. And there's also some guy walking very slowly with a crate full of oranges. And then my friend sort of bashes into it. And then the oranges start bouncing down these staircases very slowly. And they open through doors and stuff. And whenever that happens in a dream, I know if I'm dreaming. And then you can be involved in it. So that is what that one's about. I would say my personal favorite one is also one on the album. But it's Happiness Advantage, I spoke about earlier. But it's just about... It's sort of in memory of my cousin, who sadly died about a year ago, and so for me, it like holds a very personal meaning. So actually, the first time I said that. But that's what that song is about.
Yeah, I think favorite on the album. I think I refer back to that moment, not necessarily the whole tune, but that moment. There's that special moment in the album which I've just always loved, really, really loved. In terms of like playing live, though. I do enjoy kitchen sink drama. I enjoy that 3/4 of the way through when the vocal then lifts. That's a cool moment. I like doing that. I think this set list that we're doing tonight actually is one of the first set lists, because normally there's a lot of individuals in the band, so everyone's got their opinion, and there's usually maybe one that someone doesn't like playing as much, etc. But I think this is the first set list where you just like actually every song, really enjoy playing every song on there, so it's good. It's really fun.
Well, it's quite a nice thing that, because we were so excited about this. We were trying to come up with all sorts of questions, and we wanted to ask if there was a leader of the band. We thought it might be quite funny to see if someone would step up and go. Well,
he was like, "You can't ask that."
It's
ask whatever you want.
Oh, it's Jay. Well, I was gonna say it sounds very diplomatic. Otherwise,
he's back there, sort of doing all the emails and kind of getting our outfits ready, and he's got the whip. So it's all quite nasty behind the scenes.
We all have very different roles in the band, and we all sort of divide and conquer, really. So there's a lot of
and Jake allocates.
And Jake's sort of our mum, basically.
We love that, because I've spoken to you guys a few times before. Jake's the only one of you I've never like even said hello to, so it's kind of like this silent.
Nor have we.
He's very
well,
we should caveat that he did come in here, but we didn't have enough mics, so we just decided that we'd sack him off.
We turn around, he's gone. Spooky. Sort of.
But we do try and get him into our own podcast, and I think next time we're going to do it, we'll get him into it as well.
I feel like we've got quite a nice thing to give Jake a bit of a shout out, because I really enjoyed during COVID when you broke down some of your songs, and you mentioned Travel Guide. There's a shout in that to
There's
Jake.
A lot of shouting.
Yeah. But that is like typifies Junodream for me as like a consumer, like just seems like so much fun. But what you shout like something like "Give it the beans, Jake."
Oh yeah, he's yelling
that
in
is
the
track. Yeah. When we were recording the drums.
We were recording with the guy Josh Terrell.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was yelling. Was he yelling or were we yelling?
No, we were
either
yelling.
Way, it's in there. Yeah. We have a lot of we say a lot of weird stuff. I maybe shouldn't encourage people to do this, but if you reverse some of our tracks, if you were to get a stem, the whispering and weird noises in the background, we're often saying quite dreadful stuff.
But To the Moon's got us at like 2 a.m. just
talking about
sort of
cheese.
drunkenly talking about cheese and the moon.
Yeah.
And and visiting the moon. So there's about 5 different stories going on into the moon. There's loads of those shouts and travel guide as well. There's a lot of just like
Yeah.
which
And
we
we'll do
do
that
replicate live.
We'll do that tonight as well.
That might be my favourite moment actually, when we just get to go like that.
Is there a designated screamer in the band?
Dougal's got a great screech.
I do have a great scream. To
You
be
pinch
fair.
him hard
Oh,
enough.
come on. You can't just leave us like that.
No. I don't scream in public anymore. Those days are beyond me, unfortunately. Behind me.
So, final question from me, just completely random, but I'm interested. If you could redo any soundtrack from a film and replace it all with Juno tracks, what would you pick?
Yeah, because we think you
Harry
guys
Potter for the money. No, I'm joking.
Not for the
I like to
money.
come
such
back.
cinematic music. We were just
Yeah.
like, especially what you're saying about like the high ceilings. We were like, we could see a film with Junodream music.
The thing is that there are films where I would love Junodream music to be in, but those films already have amazing soundtracks that I think are kind of, they do the job way better than we could.
Yeah, you got to think of a bad film that could be elevated with our songs. Not many. Not many.
A couple of student films out there.
See, I had Finding Nemo pop into my head.
Wow, what a bleak Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Losing Nemo.
Losing Nemo forever.
Just
and no one
cut
ever
the last
finds
20
him.
minutes off. That's it.
God, can't.
Any Disney? Any
Yeah,
like it's-
Pixar's
Yeah.
all great.
I like that
Spacey.
idea. Pixar, but without the last. 20
Wally,
minutes of
why don't we do Wally?
Wally is a shout.
There we
everything.
go.
Lots of space in that.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, Wally would be
That's
good. Yeah.
I like
Wally's
that.
good.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I am conscious that you are on stage about an hour and a half, so we should
shit.
let you go. But thank you so much to
We can
Tom,
wait.
Ed, and to Dougal, and of course Jake, even though he's not here, but
Yeah,
we know
Jake.
leader of
Rest
the
in
band,
peace.
sorting everything out. But thank you so much for joining us here at the Cali Retreat. This has been the Rock and Roll With It podcast. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks
Thank
so much,
you
very
Tony.
much for having
Cheers,
us.
guys.
Cheers.
Love the t-shirt.